Hello and welcome to Inside Indiana Business. I'm Gary Dick. For decades, Central Indiana has really counted on sporting events as a major economic driver for the tourism and hospitality sectors. In fact, a recent IUPUI study found that sports generate some $3.4 billion annually in economic activity. That's certainly not been the case in 2020 with the pandemic. It's dramatically impacted the bottom line for hotels, restaurants, and other businesses as well, not just here in Indianapolis, but around the state. We get some perspective on the state of the sports economy and what's next from Indiana Sports Corporation President Ryan Vaughn. And Ryan, as always, thanks for joining us.
Thanks to be with you, even just virtually.
Yeah, exactly. Hopefully that changes sooner rather than later. But we want to begin. A big story that broke is certainly the impact in the sports business, if you will, has been substantial. But a couple of weeks ago, the NCAA made the announcement it has the intent, it wants to locate the entirety of March Madness in Indianapolis. I know negotiations, talks, very complex deal. Can you give us an update on where things stand?
Yeah, I'm optimistic that we can get there. I mean, certainly we're working, hand in glove with the Visit Indy and the CIB and the city and the state, and of course the NCAA to try and make this possible. There's just a lot of moving parts, to make it a reality. We're talking about multiple competition venues, multiple practice facilities, coordination with the hotels, our public safety officials at the state and local level. But in a typical Indianapolis fashion, everyone's working hard and in good faith. And I'm optimistic that we'll be able to get this done. But it's still a work in progress for sure.
Work in progress, Ryan. But do you think we'll have an answer one way or the other soon, before the end of the year, before Christmas, possibly?
Yeah, it seems that way. I mean, the clock's ticking, right? March Madness is just around the corner, and I think we're getting close, very close. That's a reasonable timetable for sure.
Yeah, Ryan, what put in perspective, if you will, the pandemic has impacted all businesses in dramatic ways. What's the last 9 months been like, if you will, for the sports industry and hospitality and tourism?
Yeah, I mean, understandably, incredibly challenging. I feel my heart just breaks for the folks in the hotel world and the restaurants and the entertainment venues. The restrictions necessary and proper around the coronavirus have really just decimated audiences for everyone, and it's caused significant furloughs, layoffs, downsizing. So it's been a real challenge, and it's been a real challenge for our organization and many others. But with all those challenges also comes unique opportunities, and we've tried to stay focused on building our future pipeline, 21 and beyond, and really trying to figure out what can we actually do just to make even just a little bit of a difference. What events can we host? How can we execute them? And we found some success, and potentially March Madness coming here would be a huge feather in our cap toward that effort as well.
Well, there are some that would argue that Indianapolis has fared better than other regions around the country. Case in point, this weekend, the Big Ten football championship will be here, but there will also be a college basketball game in a bubble environment, which Indianapolis continues to negotiate, perhaps to do more of those things.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. We've struggled, but we've fared far better than many of our peers. And I think, a large part of that is the good leadership that we've had on the state and local level from the health departments and the mayor's office, and then really just being innovative. The idea that we could create a, controlled environment, single site place for basketball. We shop that around the country. We've had some success with that. We hosted an international FIBA event with Puerto Rico and Mexico, United States, and Bahamas. We've got a college game this Friday, Richmond versus Loyola. And of course, we had the Jimmy V and the Championship Classic as well. So we've been able to secure games and have events, not at scale with fans, but certainly, attracting people to Indy, during this really challenging time.
Yeah, as we wrap up, Ryan, as you look at that pipeline you're building 2021 and beyond, the NBA has announced they're delaying or will have their All-Star Weekend here in 2024. Can you give us a sense for that pipeline and how it's come together longer term?
Yeah, we're in the middle of a bid process to extend our Big Ten relationship around football and basketball all the way through 2030, which would be outstanding. we're considering, we're actually mid-bid process on a U.S. Olympic trials for swimming for 2024. We were recently awarded first and second rounds and regionals in NCAA basketball in 24 and 25 respectively. And we've already been awarded the 2026 men's Final Four. And then, of course, you just mentioned the NBA All-Star Game, which will really be fantastic. It might be a blessing in disguise that it was moved out a few years with all the outstanding renovations and improvements that are taking place at Bankers Life Fieldhouse. To have that up and running in a showcase will be special.
Pipeline certainly building. Challenging time for the sports industry, though. Ryan Vaughn, president of the Indiana Sports Corporation. Ryan, as always, thanks for joining us. Look forward to seeing you soon, hopefully in person.
Yeah, thanks you, and thanks for having us.
All right.